Hi, I'm Coach Pramod of Jayanagar Jaguars, and yet another session of running, fitness, your health. Let us today look at one of a very interesting fact of our lives. So let us start this session. It says adding life to years. Now, is it really right to say this, or is it adding years to your life, or adding life to your years? So let us see why I'm saying adding life to years. What happens is many of us are aware about the first part and we try to do something about it. We try to do some exercises. We are aware that sedentary life is bad. If you want to live longer, you have to do some exercise, and we start doing something about it. So we are working towards adding years to our life. But most of us are either unaware, or even if we are aware, we are very reluctant to work on the second part, which is adding life to years. And today's session, I would try to convince you guys to take the second part also very seriously, like you take the first part. So let us do one true or false. Our grip strength, grip and grip. Right? Strength is an indicator of our overall health. Is it true or is it false? So what do you think? Actually, it is true. Yeah, it's an indicator of our overall strength. It's an indicator. So that doesn't mean only because you can squeeze somebody's hand while doing shake hand. We're not referring to that. We are talking about an indication. Weak grip strength is an indication of reduced muscle strength across our body. It is not only about the strength here, but it actually a reflection of reduced muscle strength across our body. Now, how you can draw such a conclusion just by the grip? Because as I said, it's an indication, and we will see how almost 4 areas it directly impacts. The first one is muscle strength. Throughout your body, it is essential. So muscle strength throughout your body is essential for mobility, balance, and endurance. A strong body means you are able to go out. You can go out of your house, do exercise, do the things what you like most, and generally keep up with the world around us. If that doesn't happen, then it starts a vicious cycle. So if you don't have enough strength across your body, then your mobility is decreased. Now once your mobility is decreased, that will lead to lesser chances of moving body to build a strength. If you want to build a strength, you have to move the body, and because your mobility is restricted, your strength also is restricted, and that again leads to more weakening of muscles. Now, this is a greater risk. Actually, this weakening of muscle then ultimately leads to a greater risk of falls and fractures. Now, if you look at your elderly in your extended families, your known people, many of the time you will see that the problem happens when that elderly had a fall or had a fracture and their mobility is cut down, and then their chances of their survival starts reducing very, very fast. Right? So that's this falls and fractures in advanced age is a great factor for mortality. If the grip is not strong enough, that means your immune system has a problem. Now, why immune system has to do with the strong grip? It's again the presence of muscle across your body. They are going to help your immune system. That's where the nerves are going to go, and that's where the response for any infection is going to be faster. So if you don't have muscle strength across your body, that's another problem you are going to face, and that is indicated by loose hand grip. Right? Then the risk of chronic diseases. So weak grip strength can also serve as a warning for higher risk of chronic health diseases. And like we saw the earlier cycle, a similar cycle which keeps on happening. So load muscle mass will make you harder to exercise. Now, if you are not exercises or not moving around enough, then you become more sedentary, and then you start increasing the chances of frailty. Now, you become frail. That takes the risk of chronic diseases much higher. And chronic diseases like the pulmonary diseases, the diabetes, heart disease, obesity, all of those, right? So having muscle strength across is very very important, and many of us would have experienced this. If you are, have some accident and you are bedridden, or if you have some bad infection for some more than month or so, you are hospitalized, and then you realize how the lack of strength in your body won't allow you to do what you were doing earlier, right? So that's chronic risk of chronic diseases. And the fourth one is mental health. Now, how hand grip can tell the mental health, right? Because it's very easy that once your overall muscle mass is reduced, the strength overall your body is reduced, again you get into another cycle. That is, lack of strength will lead to reduced mobility. Reduced mobility means chances of loneliness are higher, because you are not going out, you are not meeting people, you are not doing the things what you want, and then that will affect on your mental health and your emotional health. Because the more we meet people, the more we interact with people, the more things we can do what we like. Even a stroll in a garden, if you can't do that, then that isolation starts, and isolation can start working on your cognitive and your emotional health. So see, just one handshake can tell you so many things about you. Right? So jokes apart, we are talking about the strength of hand grip, and that's an indication of the reduced muscles across our body. What is it called? It is called sarcopenia. The reduction of muscle mass, strength and function. That's sarcopenia, the reduction of muscle mass. And that is a natural process. It occurs in everyone's life. It is going to occur in everyone's life. So typically what we lose is what is called as type 2 muscle. Yeah, that starts reducing as we actually cross maybe 30s. Yeah, of course it's not that 30 and start losing it, but around 30, right? Depending on how active you are. And slowly the losing of that muscles, type 2 muscles increases, and whatever strength you have in your late 30s or 28 or 27 is not the same as 50. That's how it gradually you will start feeling that. Now that is onset of what is called as sarcopenia, and at advanced age it becomes very the progression is very high. So what the sarcopenia leads to, impact on quality of your life, right? It will reduce your ability to perform your daily tasks, right? You can't do what you regularly have been doing. You want to do those tasks also, you can't. That's a major major factor of increased frailty or chances of falling and fractures. And like we discussed earlier, that is one of the major reason for elderly mortality. The next one is it can lead to loss of independence, because you are frail and you can't move around, and then you need long-term care. So that's sarcopenia. Now, I'm not saying that it is going to happen to everybody at some time, at some very specific time. It might happen at some time, but not at some specific time. So shall we leave it to the chance? Actually, no, we don't have to, because if we put in effort, then we can slow the progression of the sarcopenia. And what we can do is strength training. If we keep on doing strength training, the chances of sarcopenia can be reduced. Yeah, the progression can be reduced. And nowadays we see a lot of very very healthy people who are doing amazing work in power areas when they are 80s and 90s. Yeah, so that's one important thing, adding years to your life, right? That's what we are. The second part is immunosenescence, that is a lack of or decline of immunity as we grow older, right? And that makes us prone to infections. So again, why that happens is the lowered muscle mass. So our body loses some ability to mount that response to any of the infections, because if there are no muscles, the the veins are not there, the capillaries are lesser number of capillaries and lesser number of blood flow going into all parts of body, etc., etc. So let's not going into too much of physiology, but understanding that if you have lesser muscle mass, even your response to immune systems again, so your immune system will go down, to your response to any infection will become challenging. And we can slow the progression of immunosenescence also with strength training. So all in all, what I'm trying to tell you is, if you keep your muscle strength, so don't let your muscle mass go down. That thing to understand is, there are two major factors which govern, which are connected to longevity. Staying longer is first part, of course, is VO2 max. That's your ability to utilize maximum oxygen when you are doing a maximal effort. It's like when you are running up a flight of stairs or trying to catch a train, wherever you are putting maximal effort for some time, and that requires oxygen more, and your ability to get that oxygen. So this is generally considered to be indication of your cardiovascular health. That's one part. And second part is a composite matrix of your strength and your muscle mass, right? You should have muscles, but you also should have strength. Your ability to translate that power to do things, strength. So that's really our overall body strength. So these are two important aspects of our longevity. And second part, what we kept on discussing, is about adding life to your years. So you should be able to enjoy that long years. But the interesting thing is, these both capacities, you can't build them in 2 months, 3 months. Once you decide, oh, okay, yeah, of course you can start improving, but it takes a lot of time. It is an accumulated ability. Yeah, please understand, it is accumulated ability. You have to keep on building them over years, and for some reason you can't, the ability will go down immediately. Yeah, your VO2 max ability might take longer to go down than your strength, but both will go down, and you have to keep on accumulating that. That means you need to do prevention first, and that is earlier in life. That means whatever is your age, you have to start doing your strength training. What are the options for that? Right? Of course, there are body weights, body weight exercises. So these are exercises which don't require equipment or minimal equipment. So you can do push-ups, you can do squats, you can do planks, you can do lunges, etc., etc. And you can, there are variations to this. There are some suspension equipments where you do, so you tie something above and then you try to do exercises against that suspension. So you are working with your body weight and gravity as usual, but you are using. So there are some sports, like in India we have Malkham, right, where it's a pole and you do a lot of activities around that pole, holding that pole. So that works on your strength, but that's again a body weight. You are not using additional weight or any additional equipment to build that strength. Next is free weights. Of course, we know that's the oldest form. You have barbells, you have dumbbells. Earlier we had in India, we had something called as mudgal, where it's a very heavy wooden thing which you can then rotate in various directions to create that resistance and get the strength. That's a free weight. You are using some free weight. Then there are dumbbells, kettlebells. You can use medicine ball, and there are so many exercises with medicine ball, 3 kg, 5 kg, and so on and so on. Right? Another option, of course, is weighing weight machines. They provide various resistance, and but in a particular body part is moved in a particular direction. That's how weight machines work, right? You do weights with machines. And then there are some resistance tubing or bands where you use a equipment which is a resistance band, yeah, and that can give you resistance against which you try to move, and that builds your strength. So there are various ways to build strength. There are various options. So the bottom line is, take your strength training seriously. Now, why you have to take strength training seriously is it's not only sufficient to add years to life, but it's very important to add life to years. You should be enjoying your life. So when you do strength training, I personally have been talking about this as a coach of running, and that is true for any sport actually. Strength training will help you to improve your pace, improve your endurance, reduce chances of injury, etc., etc. This has been told to you many times. It has been told to you, but I see many runners, right? And that's a global phenomenon. Yeah, runners typically hate to go into gym. They will rather say that I will use that time to run, right? So strength training gets ignored. But if that can't, encourage you to do, I hope this will. Right? This will convince you to do, because you must add a life to the extended years you want, and that is why I am calling it adding life to years. Right? So it will decrease. The strength training will decrease rate of sarcopenia. It will improve your bone density. It will improve your mobility and independence in advanced age. Very important part. Yeah, you have to live your life. Whatever you want to do, you should be able to do. Even if just a stroll in the park, right? But you should be able to do that. You should be able to walk up the stairs of your own house. So as many years as possible. So work on your strength, right? That's independence. And it will reduce the chances of your fall and fractures, because even if you fall, there are chances that if you have strength, the impact will be less. And the falls are first of all reduced because you have better balance. And even if you fall, the chances of you kind of supporting that fall with something, holding on to something, because you have strength. And importantly, as I said, their bone densities. So I hope this could convince you a bit to take your strength training seriously. And as I work with thousands and thousands of runners, I know how reluctant they are, and that's where I put this very special session to convince you to do your strength training. So, and importantly, it's not only the strength, physical strength, it also is going to improve your cognitive abilities and in your general ability to enjoy life. So guys, please take your strength training seriously. See you.